Ho, ho, ho. Setting the Ask Academy mood for the day. Acoustic Alchemy. That's right, we are the Ask Academy. We're doing pre-calculus again today. We're going to still look at functions, but we're going to be looking specifically at functions that they're increasing and decreasing. And we'll look at those in a little bit more detail in just a second. But we're going to look at that. And then also, we're going to be looking today at approximating relative minimum and maximum values. So again, we're going to try to focus in on some of the graphs that we had in our textbook, in our pre-calc book. And so as we're looking here, we're going to look at increasing and decreasing functions. So the value there of functions that are increasing and decreasing, and where in those functions are, again, we're still analyzing functions. And what we're going to be doing in this chapter now, this section, is looking at how we increase and decrease. Well, it's really a pretty easy kind of concept. And again, they're going to give you pictures of the graph. And so we're looking at this one here. And as you're looking at this particular function, as you move from left to right, where does, again, moving from left to right across the graph, like we read in our books. As we look at the graph that way, what does it appear that the graph is doing? Is it rising as we move? Is it going higher as we move from left to right? Yeah. Does it ever not go higher? No. So we're going to be looking at three different ways that a function can be described as increasing. Like this one's increasing all through the function. So how we would communicate that, what that communication is we would say this function is increasing over the entire real line. Everywhere. It's increasing everywhere. Well, we've got some other examples of graphs and whether they're increasing or decreasing. Here we have an example of a graph, and from this interval it's increasing, it's rising. Then it gets to the peak of the mountain and it starts falling down. Well, that's decreasing. Then it gets to the bottom of the valley and starts increasing again. What we want you to be able to do is to use interval notation to be able to communicate those sections of the function. Function is increasing in the interval from negative infinity to -1. Let's look at the graph again. Moving from left to right. This is never ending. Just because it stops on the picture doesn't mean it doesn't go on forever. It does. From negative infinity, from the left, moving to the right to getting to -1, it's been increasing. It's increasing there. And then starting at -1 and going to +1, it's decreasing. And then from -2 to positive infinity, all the way to forever, it's going to be increasing, according to the picture that you have there. So that's how we're going to communicate that. So that's increasing and decreasing functions, and how we set those and communicate them in interval notation. Notice now, we don't use any brackets at all, because we're saying, never really getting there, not really including -1, but that's what we're approaching. That's where it's increasing. Never really getting to these values. Never getting to -1, parenthesis, 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 parenthesis. But that's how we're going to communicate using interval notation those increasing and decreasing values. Hey, hope you're enjoying this pre-calc. We're going pretty quick. That's increasing and decreasing functions. We are the Ask Academy.